What's up, everybody? Got to be quiet tonight because everybody else is asleep. It's late. Anyway, what I'm going to do is try to build a macro coil on this. This is the synthesis by iHybrids. You could probably do this on anything that has a dual coil, or close wick holes together, or I guess whatever if you wanted to. What I'm going to do though is wrap a large coil and spread it out and attempt to thread some cotton down there auto dripper style, and then split at the bottom and go into two different wick holes. Anyway, I got some 26 gauge cantle I'm going to try to do this with. I'm going to use a large, or just a regular size screwdriver, and we'll go with about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let's say 6 wraps, 26 gauge. Okay, going to wrap it tight around the screwdriver here, kind of pinch it together a little, if you can get it tight. And that's a pretty fat looking wick right there. It's pretty fat. Alright. Pinch it together just a little. And now what I'm going to do is take the bottom leg here and we'll bend it down. Get a little bend going in it here. So it winds up about like this. And I'm going to attach it to the device, kind of putting it over the wick hole there. Alright, so I'm only going to use one. I'm not going to use two coils. Now, if this works good, great. If not, forget it. And I don't think it has to be perfectly centered over the wick hole, because like I said, we're going to use cotton, and try to split it off at the bottom where it goes in, because a lot of times I don't want to use both wick holes, but I don't want to do a U-wick. That's a pain in the rear. And to me, it's just not worth it. Some people swear by them, but that's a lot of trouble. Look how big that coil is right there. Alright, so it's not touching the center post. I'm going to check the resistance real quick. Surprised. Thought I'd have more resistance than that, but like it said, about 0.6, 0.7 ohms. So it ought to fire up pretty heavy. Getting a hot leg already. What I'm going to do is just pinch this bad boy together like that. Try to keep it where there's a nice spread between the bottom and top. Okay, here we go. It's starting to heat up there. I'm using kind of using a depleted battery too, so that I don't wind up frying something. There you go. Had a massive hot leg a second ago, but it's kind of cooled off. I think it touched the center post a little bit. Okay, so basically what we're winding up with is a nice coil that's, you know, heating up in the center there. Okay, looks good. Alright, now I'm going to pause for a second and I'll come back with the cotton. Okay, I ran into a little snag, but I've seen to fix it up. Obviously it's tight and held up underneath here, and that was a massive coil, so what I did is I had to make it sort of oblong to fit in there, but it was really not that difficult. Once I got it, you know, kind of heated up and everything, got it going, it was shaped pretty easily. So you can see it's coming on like gangbusters. Anyway, what I did with the cotton was I shaped it with the 2 wick holes at the bottom like this. Kind of gave it legs. Alright, and what we'll do is we'll run it down through the center and see if we can get it plugged into the holes. Okay, it's going to be tough to see, but the cotton's going through the Macrocoil and then down into the wick holes. It doesn't actually have to go into the tank, just enough so that when you tip it and tilt and start wicking, it will pull the juice from the tank. Alright, so that's what it's going to look like done. And that's a pretty hefty coil on there. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and get some juice on it. Got a little Helios gold going in there. Yeah! Alright, I got some gold in there and I've got it tilted upside down, trying to get it to wick down into the cotton. As you can see, it's not pouring out. Probably best to keep that wick hole out. There we go. And then you can add a little from the top. Get it saturated good. You don't want the cotton packed down in there either, because it's got to have a little bit of room to come out. That's with this or any other microcoil or auto dripper that you use. You don't want that cotton packed down in there, because it just will kind of plug the holes rather than actually pull juice up and out. Oh, looks like it's good and saturated. Tuck this wick around a little bit too, because it's sitting pretty fat once it swells up. Alright. Put the rest in the tank here. Give it a good tilt. And one of the good things about these, you really don't have to do much tilting to get it to wick good. I mean, here we go. Hard to tell just by this. I still got a half-dead battery in this thing. Try to remember where your wick hole is at, because you can't see it. There it is. Hear that? This works outstanding. Sitting in a busted chair. See, Matt, my kids tear everything in my house up. They broke the fucking wheels off this chair. That is really good. Good Lord. Alright, we'll call that a success. Anyway, it's an alternative to a U-wick, a dual wick. You could probably use this in the Cobra. You can use it in the Synthesis, obviously. Steam Boy's got dual wicks right next to each other. You can probably use it in that as well. Y'all take care. Oh, I did forget to add too. Flavor's really good. Just kind of like a Macrocoil's flavor. In fact, it might be just as good or better. I don't know. It's taking up a lot of space under the cap too, so that reduced chamber is going to affect the taste in a positive way. Obviously, the vapor's really good, and then your throat hit's going to be dependent on the juice that you're using, as well as some other factors, what your resistance of your coil is, and so forth. I like using the lower resistance stuff like the 26 and 28 because it seems to hold up better. Less hot spots too, less coil snappage. I think that's all I can say about this. Works real well. I like it. Anyway, that's the end of my tutorial. Y'all take care and bye girl.